Okay, now to show the Rytm jammer. This is a patch I made this morning. It took me about 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes. So the Reface DX has a looper, which is cool. So if I start recording something, that's great. Now if I want to add a bass part, let's say with another instrument, too bad. It changes the instrument. Why Yamaha? I don't know why they did this. So I wanted a workaround. I wanted an instrument that could play maybe a bass drum and a snare and the voices in between. And I started thinking about it and how I could do that, and I made this. So I've got 4 individual operators, which means I can't get a sound that is too crazy creative, but I can get the job done. So on my first, I used them this way. So my first and third operators are my regular voice here. So I made them kind of saw wavy with some decay, so they sustain, but it's a very low sustain. I couldn't use my LFO because my LFO was tied up doing things to the other operators, my modulators, so that they could be my percussive sounds. So my second operator is my kick. So what I did was I set this frequency really low on it. I did the level a little bit lower, and I made it into more of a square wave. I gave it a fast decay, so it hits really hard and then just fades away. I gave it a descending sawtooth LFO with a pretty high speed that hits as hard as it possibly can with no delay. So what that effectively does is it makes sure I get a nice percussive sound out of this. I also gave it a pitch fall at the beginning of it to give it more of that that sound that a kick drum gets when it travels through the drum. Then I went on to my settings for the voice, and I adjusted the key sync rate and made sure that it was as loud as it could possibly be at the low end, and didn't really make any sound higher up. So what that means is on my keyboard here, if I'm in the normal octave range, my other voices are playing out. If I drop it down into a lower range, you can start to hear it coming in, and if I go all the way down, you get the kick. So in the middle I've got that. Then my fourth operator is my snare. It's all kind of the same stuff. I had to change the wave. I had to change a little bit of how the LFO works. It was kind of a struggle to get it where it is. It's still not super snarey, but it gets the job done. So if I go up the keyboard, you can start to hear it come in, and then up high, you get that sound, which is my snare. So now if I go to record on my looper, I can do some pretty fun stuff in here. The struggle was getting the voices to go out when the percussive elements were coming in, and finding a balance between everything. That was hard. I beefed up the voices that I have by giving them some detuning and changing the frequencies a little bit, but it's really the best that I could do as of right now with this, but I think it did pretty well. So let me show you how it works. We're going to go down here. kick. I'll go up and add the snare in on the next time around. Sorry for the timing. And then I'll come down here and I'll add in the rest of my voices.